Hey everybody, Tony here at Knee High Farms coming back at you with the conclusion of our Mall of America trip. So now that we got our dose of Mall of America in, it was once again time to board the Empire Builder heading home. And one thing about this route, so we left through Seattle and we're coming in through Portland, and I was really hopeful that we were going to see some new scenery. Well, you're going to see that we went the same exact way. So now we've officially exited the state of Minnesota and we're back in our favorite place of North Dakota flatlands. Little bit of snow to see there, and then here we are in the observation lounge where we utilize this quite a bit. It was nice to have this lounge car. When we went back home on the Empire Builder, interesting thing, the train will split and we're going to lose the dining car. Right now we have it with us as we're just now getting on our trip back home, but you kind of lose one car and you keep the other, and I'll explain more of it as we get closer to where this happens. But you're just enjoying North Dakota flatlands. As flat as they can be. Yeah, definitely cold. I mean, we encountered that when we were in Minnesota. We had that one day where it dropped from like 45 to 17 in like a matter of 5 or 6 hours. That was crazy. Definitely some wild weather over there in the Midwest, upper Midwest, I should say. So here I thought it was kind of funny. I was just taking footage of this white car that was looking like it was racing us, man. I clocked the train. I had this really cool speed app, as you see me panning there to the menu. I had this train speed app that would tell you the miles per hour of the train, and we were usually averaging about 60, 65 miles an hour, as you see me looking at the menu there. And as I'm narrating this video, I learned something very interesting about the Amtrak trains that run cross country. We watched a gentleman on YouTube who took the Southwest Chief train from Chicago to LA, and he showed the menu, and it's the same stuff. I was a little disappointed, to be honest, that each train didn't have its own unique food, but that's America Trains for you. Here you see me zooming in on a water tower. Yeah. Just cruising through North Dakota. So this is our first fresh air break, Minot, North Dakota. And we were able to get off here and kind of walk around for 15-20 minutes. So we decided to go into the local train station there. And it was pretty cool. You can see the real pretty decor of the train station there, the ceiling tiles, and just the overall feel of the train station. Pretty nice. Got some real nice quality wood there, so just enough time to stretch our legs and check out the building before we had to race back on the train again. You can see our schedule there of our train. Here we are, back on the train again, continuing westward towards our home state of Washington. Just lots of snow out there and empty flat fields. Alright, so we're slowly pulling into our next stop. Now we're officially crossed over into Montana at this point. We're in the Glasgow train stop here. And this is not a fresh air break. This is just kind of stop, pick up some passengers, and get going again. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you a little view of Glasgow, Montana. Got some really cool old buildings there. You got the Hotel Roosevelt in the back, and you got the Milk River Valley Bank. Yeah, I should open an account there. Do they like deal with milk or do they deal with money? Anyways, but yeah, as you can see, we're there in the middle of nowhere, Glasgow, Montana. So at this point, we're back on the train, you know, and we're cruising onward westward, and you know, it's getting to be sunset time, which I did not catch the sunset this time. But if you did not see, check out my second video. I caught some really cool sunsets on that video. But yeah, we're entering the evening of day 4, and at this point, we're just kind of getting ready for dinner as we just kind of stare outside. Alright, so we're officially about to start our final day on the train, and we're going to be coming up to one more stop here in Montana as I get you some footage there of the local town. Excuse the window being dirty, but yeah, we're in Malta, Montana at this point, and I believe this is the last stop before we cross into Idaho, which we really cruised through Idaho really fast. As you'll see, actually day 5 is not the last day on the train. I was mistaken. We actually have one full day here, day 5, of traveling on the train, and then day 6 will be our final day on the train. So here you're probably just seeing a lot of Montana.
Anyways, we're over halfway home. Can't wait, it's kind of getting cramped in this train.
Okay, so here we are, officially the new day of day 6. Here we're crossing the bridge into Washington State. This is exactly to be accurate, it's Pasco, Washington, which is on the eastern border of Washington State and Idaho. So we're just coming into town here, the sun rising, and we're almost there, folks. We're in our home state at the very least. One cool thing about traveling this route back to Portland was that we were able to parallel the Columbia River. And so I took a lot of still shots of the Columbia River, just with some pretty rock formations and buildings and whatnot. But that was a pretty part of the trip, coming back along the Columbia. Here I'm taking some video of the Columbia River and just some random building over there. We're still between Pasco and I believe the next stop was White Salmon. So there was quite a ways to travel between Pasco and White Salmon. And yeah, this is just video of the Columbia River and our beautiful state. So one of the many things about Washington State is we use a lot of hydroelectric power here in Washington, and so here's one of the many dams that we have. This one's called the McNary Dam, which is near White Salmon. Just thought I'd shoot some random video of it. as you can see, we had a lot of clouds, but they finally broke once we got closer to white salmon here, and so I was able to get some really pretty shots of the sun breaking through the clouds and this kind of Columbia River in the backdrop with some surrounding hills and mountains. It's just one of the many things I love about our state here. I had to document it on a few photos. So in addition to the photos, I took some video of pretty much the same area. Just getting how the sun hitting on the Columbia River there, and just it was really pretty that the clouds broke. You know, it made for a really pretty morning and afternoon coming back home. As you can see there, I'm panning up to the sky. But yeah, and at this point, we've gone through two time zones, so it kind of threw us off whack. Especially, me personally, I needed a day and a half to recover from the constant time changes that you go through when you're on the train, but it's nothing you can't get used to.
I-84. That's the I-84 over there on the Oregon side. This is the most green we've seen on this trip is in our state. Anyways, enjoy your Columbia River dose. Oh man, goodbye. There we are. Train's gone. We're officially entering the White Salmon train stop. What's that over there?
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder for those passengers who have purchased a private sleep accommodation, you can know your meals are included with your ticket price. And because we do not have a dining.
So one thing I like to photograph bridges, and we came across this one as we're getting really close to white salmon now. We're just a few minutes away. I don't have the name of this bridge, but I know my smarter half, my wife, would know. But just took some random pictures of the bridge here and just the surrounding area.
The bridge that goes from Washington to Oregon, folks. I think. I could be wrong. Usually I am. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Gosh, that's pretty.
Red River White Salmon Interstate Bridge.
So I didn't get any pictures or footage of white salmon stop. It was so quick. I think we were there like not even a minute and a half. Here, though, we're rolling into one of the bigger stops, Vancouver. And so here we actually stopped for a few minutes and people boarded on and off. And this was our last stop before we go into Portland, where we catch the commuter train back up north up to Centralia. Interesting that you go down, you wait for a train, then you go up. But that was just the way the route worked.
Proves that we're in Washington.
So this bridge here is one that takes you between Washington and Oregon. So I thought I'd film that.
Going to Oregon.
And now we're getting super close to Portland, and we're going to be rolling in here right here. So we're officially now in Portland, and I thought I'd take some video of the depot there. One of the things that really impressed me with the depots, or the train trip, was the depots. King Street Station is pretty cool. St. Paul was pretty cool, but out of all of them, I think I liked Portland the best. They had really nice, decor inside, as you can see. Just a real pretty station. And we had about a 2.5 hour layover here before we got on our commuter train to head north to home. Alright, so here we're super close to home. This is our Kelso Longview stop, which is the one stop before ours. So You know, to wrap it up, I really enjoyed this train trip, and so did my wife. You know, this was definitely a bucket list item that we were very fortunate to be able to do and check off our list. And if you guys have been thinking about that out there yourselves, you know, taking a long train trip, I recommend it. You know, I mean, you just got to get used to train life there for a couple of days. You know, you're going to have constant, you know, stop and go. You know, there's, you know, your accommodations, depending on what you pick, you know, are going to give you certain levels of comfort. Food was okay. You know, if I had to pick, dinner was the best of the 3 meals. The train staff themselves were very, very kind and very attentive to our needs, which, you know, we didn't have many, but yeah, overall, really enjoyed this trip, and we're already talking about taking another trip, one that takes us into Chicago and then into Washington, D.C., but it's just talk right now. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed these videos of documenting our trip to the Mall of America via the Amtrak Empire Builder. And until next time, I hope you all take care, and I'll see you soon.